Hello and welcome to another episode of Undertale Beyond the Mountain. Let's see what we will see today.
Chapter 108, A Robot and His Cousins. It was a quiet day in Waterfall. Napstate Luke was at the snail farm, playing with the snails. Blukey lets out a tiny smile. Then, he heard someone humming in the distance. It was his cousin, Metatten. He came to visit. "Well, sweetie, I just saw the most adorable person ever and I want to tell you." Metatten flirted. Blukey asked, "Who?" "I think his name is Napstate Luke," Metatten said. Blukey lets out happy tears as his cousin kissed him. "I love you, Blukey darling," Metatten said. Then, he went to the garbage dump. That's where his other cousin is. His other cousin is known to be a dummy with severe anger issues. Metatten had to be careful in there. He tried his best not to touch the water. As a robot, he can't interact with water or else he'll self-destruct. Metatten managed to get through the dump. Dummy was nowhere to be found. In fact, Dummy was hiding underwater, preparing to scare him. Just then, Dummy pounced from underwater and gave Metatten quite a scare. Dummy does an evil laugh at the scared robot. "I got ya, cousin," Dummy said. "Yeah, you got me all right," Metatten said, annoyed. Frisk just happened to be watching them. They went to say hello to the cousins. "Hey. If you don't stop bothering us, I will send you to the dungeon," Dummy threatened. Frisk felt a little afraid. "He's just kidding, darling," Metatten said. Chapter 109, The Dungeon. Frisk went to Hotland. They weren't that worried that they will end up in the dungeon. Suddenly, they encountered the royal guards. The two masked guards often guard around the underground. When they saw Frisk, they marched to the child. Frisk begged them not to take them to the dungeon. "You will never be a prisoner. But we will show you," the guard said. Then, guards 01 and 02 took Frisk to the dungeon. When they got there, the inside looked very scary. It almost looked like a torture chamber. There were rats and spiders. "This is what happens when people get in trouble with the law," the guard said. Frisk got scared and they went away back to Waterfall. Meanwhile, Asriel was exploring Hotland. The little prince got hot. He sees the nice cream dude selling his nice cream. "Since you're the prince, you get one for free," he said. Asriel got so happy and took the free food. Meanwhile, the royal guards were doing their usual duty. They saw Asriel happily eating the nice cream. "Where did you get that?" a guard asked. "I got it for free," Asriel said. The guards felt danger. "They think the prince stole it." "You're under arrest," both guards cried. Asriel was shocked by this. He tried to run away but the guards caught him. The guards took him to the dungeon as the little prince screamed for help. Chapter 110, Asriel gets rescued. Toriel was worried about her son. She hasn't seen him in a while. Frisk vowed to retrieve her son. Is he in the ruins? No. Is he in Snowdon? No. Is he in Waterfall? No. Is he in Hotland? Maybe. Frisk heard a monster crying for help. It was Heat Flamesman. He is a rather annoying resident from Hotland. "I just saw the prince going to prison," he said. Frisk panicked and went away. They made it to the dungeon. They heard crying coming from inside. Frisk entered the dungeon. The royal guards were sleeping. Frisk sneaked past the guards and tippy-toed to Asriel. He stopped crying as Frisk told him they will rescue him. Frisk unlocked the chains and they went away. All of a sudden, the guards wake up and saw the kids escaping. The guards went after them. The children ran for their lives. As they were running, heat flamesmen showed up out of nowhere and breathed fire at the guards' faces, distracting them. The two children found a great opportunity to escape. Frisk got Asriel back home with his mother. The young prince was so happy to see his mother again. He hugged Toriel, happy to leave the dungeon.
And that is it. Now for tomorrow's episode, I might as well give the dummy a little bit more attention, because he's such an underrated character in the game, and I do feel sorry for him and in all his troubles. So in tomorrow's episode, I'm gonna give him a little bit more appreciation, and yeah, maybe this will do. Even though he's not a very likable person in the underground, let's all show care for him. Stay tuned for tomorrow.